What if the most radical and audacious thing you could do this year was have incredible self-belief and trust in yourself? And can I tell you that the way you are going to do that and create that resistance is going to be through joy. Joy is a radical resistance to the internal dialogue and even the external dialogue. Yo, welcome to the Joyful Mental Attitude Podcast. My name is David. I'm a joy coach, and I'm here to encourage you and build you up so that we can pursue the dreams and the things we want to do and create out of joy, not shame and guilt. Welcome to another episode. Today, I want to talk to you about having the audacity to have crazy self-belief in yourself. To dream and have the radical audacity and protest against yourself and even the way that you were born and the community that you grew up in, to be able to trust yourself to pursue the things that you want to do. Audre Lorde, she says, joy is an act of resistance. And can I tell you that in our current time and age, there is no greater resistance than to step out in joy and in self-belief and trust in yourself. As a joy coach, my biggest goal and obsession is to help you move from building out of a place of shame and guilt and start building and moving from a place of joy. And it is in joy that you can have the freedom and the environment to get to know yourself and to trust yourself. You know, kids can play and have the most fun and be secure and safe when they are loved, and the same is true of our inner life. And so today I want you to use joy to have the audacity to have the belief in yourself. I got my notes, so let's break down a couple things. You are going to self-sabotage, or like we talked about in a previous episode, self-preserve yourself to not have this belief. You're going to have internal dialogue and conversations that are going to try to stop you in 2026 from actually believing in yourself. You have to be able to overcome that and overcome yourself and do the resistance, but you can only do that with joy. Joy is an act of resistance. And so internally, you're going to try to self-preserve. You're going to try to self-sabotage, believing in yourself. One of the questions that I want you to think about today is, what would actually happen if you did the thing or you became the person? One of the fears or self-sabotage that keeps us from doing, that keeps us from playing, is going, oh my gosh, what am I going to do if I actually become disciplined? What am I going to do if I actually become the person that I've always wanted to become? And we want to be in love with the process and committed to the process, because it is the process that's going to shape us, not getting the thing. But we have to start with a radical belief in ourselves. Not only are you going to have internal negative self-sabotaging dialogues, maybe you share this with a friend or a family member, and they are going to try to self-sabotage you because they don't have radical belief in themselves. See, it's the people that aren't playing the game that are what is the word? Armchair quarterbacks. It's the people that aren't playing the game that criticize it the most. And the moment you try to start believing in yourself, all of these people are going to come out of the woodwork and tell you why you shouldn't and why you can't. Why you shouldn't lose weight. Why you shouldn't start that business. And I'm here to tell you that you can move in silence. I'm here to tell you that there are people that are radically believing in themselves, and you can too. People project their fears onto you. People that are cynical, and like I say all the time, I haven't always been this person. I have been the cynical one that crushes dreams and joys. I did it to my wife for so long. But now that I am on the other side, my obsession is to try to help those of you that are stuck, that don't have anybody to help you out, help you get there. So people will project their fears onto you, And often the loudest resistance, again, will come from inside yourself. What is that phrase? Misery loves company. And so you are going to self-sabotage yourself. So also in a way, when you share it with certain people, they're going to self-sabotage you even more. And it's going to make you feel like, oh yeah, they're right because this is what I've been feeling inside. And so you have to think outside the box of yourself and others to radically believe in yourself. And no one is going to come help you do that but yourself. Another thing, joy requires a radical decision. Joy doesn't just happen, it's chosen, especially when you doubt and shame and you criticize yourself for actually showing up. You actually started running. You actually made an Instagram page, but you never really posted. And so you go back into the cycle of self-sabotaging. That's why last episode we talked about small wins. You created the page, you showed up to the gym once. But what's going to happen is the self-preservation to get you back into the loop of cynicism, of anxiety, of stress, of fear. It's going to want to bring you back into that cycle. And the only thing that's going to get you out of it is this resistance that we're going to use joy to create. Believing in yourself is a daily discipline. Self-belief is not hype. It's a repeatable practice. It's being honest and courageous enough with yourself to go, we can do this. You can do this. Can you have the courage to believe in yourself? I want you to have audacity, not arrogance. Believing in yourself doesn't mean you ignore your flaws. It means refusing to let them define you. I'm going to say that again. Believing in yourself does not mean ignoring your flaws. It means refusing to let them define you. It is living in the tension of who you used to be, but moving into who you want to be. We don't let our failures and our fear and our anxiety define us, but rather we refuse to let it define us so much that we believe we can shake it. The last thing I want to share with you in this episode, joy grows when you stop shrinking. You think you can do it and then you shrink. You share it with someone and then you shrink. Joy grows when you stop shrinking. You do not find joy by playing small. You find it by fully showing up as yourself. Again, we're talking about the inner dialogue and sometimes the outer dialogue. There is people and friends in your life, hopefully, that you can share this with. Friends that'll nudge you in the right direction. Friends, as I like to put it, that will love you into love. If you do not have one, get a coach. Get into a community that will spur you on and encourage you to do the thing that you've wanted to do. Joy grows not by shrinking yourself, but by actually showing up as yourself. How can you show up as yourself this week, this month, this year? I wrote down a couple questions that you may have from listening to this. What if I believe in myself and still fail? We've all been there, haven't we? We've all been there. And let's take a moment to put the failure to rest, because we all fail. Again, we talk about the inner game of life and use a lot of sports analogies. How many missed shots do you think LeBron James has? I guarantee you it's more than those shots that he has made. But what gets put on paper is LeBron being one of the highest scorers in the league. But there is failures that come with that scoring. You're going to fail. It's okay to fail. Failure means you're human. But we are not defined by our failures. We're defined by the fact that we are doing a resistance against ourselves and the failures. To keep showing up, to keep trusting ourselves and trusting the process. How do I deal with people who do not support my joy or my vision? with love, with kindness, because you are there now and you want to treat others the way you wish to be treated. And this is why we have to be kind to ourselves, be patient with ourselves, because other people are going through the same things we're going through. And one of the most beautiful things about all of these conversations we're having is that once you can tap into joy, you can give it to other people. Once you can have radical self-belief, you're going to free other people to do the same thing. And so if you do not do it, there's 5, maybe 10 people on the other side of you freeing yourself that are wishing and hoping that someone will help them do it, and you're going to help them do that. One of the most beautiful things for me is not only as a friend, but as a father, as a husband, being so free that I can help my family be free. So yes, it's going to happen, but my attention is not on the people that will doubt me, that will not support me. I'm focused on myself supporting myself, and there is plenty of people in my corner supporting me. I'm going to focus on that. Isn't focusing on myself and my joy selfish? It can be, but you know what's even more selfish? Sabotaging your own self. You know what's even more selfish? Continuing to shrink yourself. You know what's worse than selfishness? It's self-pity. I would say that is 10x selfishness, because self-pity continues to keep you focused on yourself. One of the reasons this is all about joy is because joy takes the spotlight off of us and it puts it on life. Because we cannot muster joy. We cannot muster these things, but it is around us all the time. And when we can tap into it, when we become aware to it, it changes the way we live life. And so the most selfish thing you can do is continue to not believe in yourself. The most selfish thing you can do is continue to be stuck in a cycle of self-pity and negative talk. Because when you begin to heal, you've heard that phrase, hurt people hurt people. I also believe that healed people heal people. People that believe in themselves help others believe in themselves. And the same way there is a person that they sabotage you because they themselves are sabotaged, you can be the friend that on the opposite end helps people believe in themselves because you believe in yourself. And this is what happens when you get true, deep healing. You can help others believe in themselves. This has been another episode of the Joyful Mental Attitude Podcast. Have you heard this far? Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. We'll see you again tomorrow. Follow us on Instagram. Send me a DM. Let me know, Joy Gang, that you finished this whole thing. We're pressing on. We're going. We're keeping ourselves high, and we're going to have radical belief in ourselves and what we're trying to build. There's people on the other side of your healing that are waiting for a friend to believe in them. And imagine what's going to happen when you can finally believe in yourself and you can have the courage to begin to believe in others. We're moving from joy. See you in tomorrow's episode.